Next, I will introduce Anna Aronson, our second Class Day student speaker. A native of Brooklyn, New York, Anna is a sociology major with a certificate in theater. She was the host of Princeton's late-night talk show, All Nighter with Anna Aronson. She has performed in 15 student and department theater productions, and she was a member of Quipfire Improv Comedy. In one sentence, she describes her daily activities as rehearsing for plays and eating desserts. Please welcome Anna.
This is a momentous day. Our time as undergraduates is ending. Princeton is featuring 3 female Class Day speakers. And most importantly, I just got a Tinder account. Now, you might ask, Anna, why would you try to find love off campus when Princeton abounds with highly eligible bachelors? What could possibly be more attractive than a man wearing pastel Sperry's who's memorized hundreds of digits of pi? These questions would be valid. You see, I made a Tinder account in anticipation of leaving Princeton. It's one of those transitional acts that helps you envision your life beyond the gates, like returning an overdue library book, or finally retrieving the jacket that you lost at Canon. Baby steps toward the future. I actually got my Tinder account a couple weeks ago, and for the first few days, I avoided pursuing real dates. After 4 years in the Princeton bubble, I was scared of how I'd fare outside of it. Would I assume that the food at every restaurant was paid for by USG? Ask the waiter if he could help me score an Ivy Pass? Give my new lover a locomotive cheer the first time we were intimate? Hip, hip, rah, 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 tiger, 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 sis, 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 boom, 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 ah! Jeremy, Jeremy, Jeremy! But then it occurred to me that this university has totally prepared me. Our time at Princeton has been kind of like a long, exciting, dauntingly high-pressure first date. Each of our applications was like a swipe right on Tinder, and each acceptance letter was a swipe right back from Princeton. Think of it this way. Once we arrive here, our 4-year date begins. Location is a bit of an issue because your date, Princeton, fails to mention that Chancellor Green is indoors, Alexander Beach is a field, and Little Hall is so big. But once you get situated, you start trying to gauge what Princeton's truly like. He's attractive, no question, majestic, well-groomed, and he's 2.5 centuries older than you, which is kind of hot. Although you're a little turned off when you find out that he has this weird desire not to let you use the bathroom until you provide a secret code. Oh, by the way, I'm referring to Princeton with male pronouns, not because of the university's slight male majority or because of its delayed coeducation, but rather because of the overwhelming masculinity of the term D-Hall. During your freshman year at Princeton, just like on a first date, you tell little lies to feel less inadequate. You pretend that your dean's date work is under control. You pretend that you know how to spell labyrinth. You pretend that you don't pee in the shower. By sophomore or junior year, you start learning a lot from your date, Princeton. I, for example, learned that theater is an exercise in empathy, but it's mostly an exercise in trying to convince yourself that your male love interest isn't gay. I learned that people are a lot more willing to embrace sociology as a discipline if you just don't call it a science. I learned that when I speak in front of a lot of people, I get nervous and talk really quickly and lose control and say things I shouldn't say and admit that my celebrity crush is President Eisgruber. Shoot! You embarrass yourself on dates too. But that's okay. There's never a first date smooth enough to be classified as perfect. Just like there's no engineer brilliant enough to fix the login glitch on Tiger Hub. Now that the night is coming to an end, you start thinking about all of the things you never did on your 4-year date with Princeton. You never topped Dean Dunn's hashtags. You never tripped Jeff Nunakawa while he was sprinting across campus. And since you didn't take a computer science course, you never got an answer to your question, how do computers do science? There are other unanswered questions, too, like, what is the value of your professor's PhD if he is totally incapable of turning on a projector? You reflect upon all of the ways in which your date with Princeton exceeded your expectations. For example, I never expected that I would get away with streaking on campus 4 years in a row. You might recognize some of the ways in which your experience fell short of your expectations. Maybe your thesis, which was intended to contribute meaningfully to an academic dialogue, functions better as toilet paper. I recommend soft binding. You tell Princeton that you want to know what's next. He tells you that he wants to see you again, but only for 3 nights at the end of May every year when he's festering with beer, sweat, and saliva. And you accept the offer because it's better than never seeing Princeton again. And let's be honest, he is loaded. Though this goodbye may be uncomfortable, the overall experience was worth it because you grew over the course of it. You took a risk going on this scary, exciting 4-year date. Maybe by taking a really hard class, by participating in a protest, or by continuing your makeout on the TI dance floor even when the lights came on. True bravery. Whatever it was, you made yourself vulnerable here, and that's something to be proud of. Though we may feel butterflies about what lies ahead, our time with this handsome university has given us the courage to swipe right on new passions and pursuits in the future. A PhD, a family, a celebrity crush. Hey, Mr. President. But regardless of how great the outcomes of these pursuits may be, Princeton will always remain our first love. Thank you.